So for our yearbook project, unfortunately, it's not going to be printed in the normal format that we would have. If we get back to work over the summer, then maybe we can print some out for people who wanted to purchase one or something. But that's really going to have to be Mr. E's call on that, and depending on how much work we have to do. So what we're going to do is make a digital version of it. Mr. E posted this in the main classroom, but I put it in here, and I have our own assignment just to kind of grade it in the way that I want to do it. But they'll basically be the same format. All right. So, and actually, let me look at that here. So let me make sure I did put the project in here. Oh, I didn't. All right, so I didn't publish it yet. So maybe I can think of something in here as we go. So this is pretty much copied and pasted from the main classroom. But Canva is a website. All right. I thought it was just available for Mac platforms or app, but then I did find out that I don't know. Maybe I just entered the address incorrectly. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. That's what it is. To use it to install the software on your desktop, it's only available for Apple. But if you want to use the cloud-based one, then obviously it's available for any platform. All right. So what you're going to have to do is the main thing is that it has to be an 8.5 by 11 size for the format. All right. So if you're using InDesign, you can set that up. And in the main classroom, there are templates there that you can download to use. But for most people, if you're doing it in the cloud version, like I'm going to show you a little bit about, you're going to use the flyer preset, and I'll go through that. First year students get one 8.5 by 11. Second year students get 2 pages. If you really find it taxing, I would imagine I'm going to just kind of grade it based on the things that I have, the requirements. If you don't fill 2 pages, I'm not going to make a big deal about it as long as you have the required items I'm looking for in the classroom assignment here. All right. And as it says, you can use Creative Cloud to use a design template. So here's the site, which I have linked down here. When you get there, you have to create an account and a password you'll remember. So this is what the software looks like. Has anybody ever used Canva? Anybody ever used that? Seen it before? I hadn't really either before Mr. E mentioned. So that's the page that I started working on. Hopefully it saves. But so what you're going to do, and actually I am a little nervous now. Let's see where. Oh, here it is. Here under my designs. Thank God. All right. So when you're just going to log in, create design, and then if you do flyer, that should be the size that we need. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a pro feature. That's what I was trying to do first. So what's nice about this this site, it does have templates. But I was looking for. I don't really think that those really fit yearbook pages. So that's why today I asked you guys to look at one of the examples that I had found and kind of use that as your layout. I think those are a lot more interesting. So there's a couple here. This was the Jamboard that I posted today. I apologize. I am jumping around a little bit, but I will circle back. I promise you. All right. So today, I wanted you guys to reflect, choose your favorite projects as far as our greeting cards. But yeah, look at the examples linked below and complete the planning form attached. So our planning examples are right here. It should link. So these are all image results. All right. I kind of liked this layout. So what I did was I opened it. I right-clicked. I saved the image as. Saved it to my desktop. And then if you go back to the Jamboard link, which has anybody ever used that app in their classrooms? Jamboard? Okay. It's kind of like a virtual, like kind of just, I don't know, big post-it board. So if you click on that, it should allow you to open this. It's like, a Google Doc, but you can kind of post things up to it. I don't know if it's because I have it open here. Somebody told me in PM that it wasn't editable, but I don't know.
I didn't know how to add my thing to it. Every time I go onto it, it just says that it's in view mode only.
So you don't see this thing over here on the side?
No, it's not there for view.
All right. Because I was trying to check that out. All right, so and my sharing settings look like it's okay, because it says anyone who has the link. I mean, I'll make it even more public. Oh wait, can view. Hold on a second. This was on view, and on the previous screen it said edit. So wait, I think that should definitely fix it.
Okay,
all right, you want?
Refresh.
Yeah, see if you can now. You should see this bar on the side here. Alright, but that's the idea. I want you guys to look through these, and you can search on your own also, but find a layout that you think is good, based on the amount of pictures it can hold, or the coloring, or the organization of shapes, or kind of graphics like this film strip. And I would like you to really try to replicate that layout, because it's going to be a lot more interesting to look at than just one of these layouts that they have in there. Alright, but I mean, you can use these. So if you chose this layout, you would go in here, certain things, your text is editable, you have your fonts, your sizes, your stylings. If you want to change a picture, these should be all original pictures or things of your own pictures. But you would go to uploads, and then upload an image, and then, we find this picture of the school. It loads it kind of to your library. Once this is finished uploading, I'll just be able to drag it over into this square here. So this cloud app, this desktop publishing cloud app, has a lot of nice features to it, and is pretty user-friendly. So see, all I did is I dragged it from my library right into the frame. You can do all kinds of effects. You can, add your filters. It's just like a plug-in. Actually, I haven't played with these filters too much, but there we go. So you can get some of that stuff on there, or a rainbow effect, all kinds of filter or effects. You have filters also. You have adjustments for color correction. You can crop. All kinds of things you can do with your images. And anytime you want shapes, you're going to go into this element category. There's some clip art as well as basic shapes. And you can even take these shapes, and then I think I was able to drag pictures into them. No, that didn't work. That's right. I was hoping that's what you could do, but that would be one way to I was trying to make borders around my pictures so you can use your shapes to kind of do stuff like that. Alright, so today was all about the planning for Tuesday. For tomorrow, I'd like you guys to work on these pages and getting your stuff into there. Alright, so this video that I'm making today will be kind of serving for 2 days, for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, so as we're talking about this project, what I want you to include in it, you should have, I haven't added the items to that yet. So that's really just going to come out of our form for today. So in here, you're going to need a background image or texture. You're going to have describing, or actually you're going to have to have a picture of you. At least 2 things that you'll leave for others to remember. Alright, so, it could be something maybe your friends say, or maybe a famous quote, as I was saying here, something you learned. And that's what I started doing on my page, alright? So, if I go back here, the 2 things that I always try to talk about, and probably maybe too much, the harder you work now, the easier it'll be later. Alright, kind of pay it forward. I always want you guys to, if you put your best into it now, I think you're gonna be happy later because it's gonna set you up and put you into some good positions. And the other thing that I am a big believer in, try to have you guys remember, because we do use computers all the time, they're only as smart as the directions you give them. So, even though you may have the fanciest computer and the best software, if you don't know how to use it, it doesn't really mean anything. And so that's what I always try to learn how to talk to computers, and that sounds a little weird, but you know, we need to use them, right? If we can kind of automate things and make these awesome designs and things like that. This is a pretty cool picture frame holder. I don't know if you guys see this. It's like a 3D picture here. So like all these elements, really look through and see what your frame holders are. I'm pretty sure that's where I got that one. I didn't add any pro features or anything on here. I'm using the basic one just like you guys are. Oh, maybe it's in this one, in frames. Yeah, this is probably where it was. Yeah, check out this category for your pictures. There are some good ones in here. The computer has a big deal to do with our lives, right? Maybe there's one with a cell phone or something. I was also looking at some different things. I think what I'm going to do for this project, you can actually add video to this also. So if you can add maybe a little video of yourself in here, we can still have it print, but then, this digital yearbook will become interactive then, right? Or kind of multi-dimensional. So I will be offering extra credit for including, like a little video instead of your picture. Alright, so I will finish. I think though I'm not going to really take it any further than that with this. I want to just keep it simple. Hopefully that's simple enough so that you just need to have a background image or picture, a picture of you, or a video for extra credit. At least 2 things you'll leave others to remember, and then 2 additional images. Alright, actually, you know what? I'm going to put one. I hate when I do this, but I think it does make a difference. I would like you to include some kind of line or shape, and that could just be a border around an image or something like that. Alright, because that I think helps to frame and make our designs have some formality to them and organization. And I'll just say that. Help organize, alright? And they can be implied or physical, right, in there. Alright, so with that said, what do you guys think? Is this going to be difficult, easy, in the middle?
In the middle.
Okay. What do you think is going to be?
In the middle.
That's good. I do want to challenge you a little bit, alright? But I don't want it to be overwhelming like crazy. What do you think is going to be hard about it? Probably finding pictures is what I've been coming up with right now, kind of thinking about your theme. Maybe if you have a printed yearbook, or, actually, I wonder if I could get... I know there's a sample one or one of last year's pages in the main classroom. I think that they're a little weak though, the one that's in there, to be honest. Think about though, these things are like time capsules. There's going to be a point in your life where you're going to go back and wish that you could redo high school again, or or just relive it just because you had so much fun, or you miss a certain person. So think about how what you want to put in there for people to remember if they go back and look at it, in however many years in the future. I'm just trying to see what format these pictures are as that Mr. E posted. Alright, so here's a second year template. Alright, so this student listed their name, where they're from, what they like doing, where they're going to go, and then here's some pictures of at school, at the picnic, and things like that. You guys probably have tons of selfies of you and your friends at school, or or just maybe some of your favorite projects. And speaking of that, if anybody needs any of their work for any of this stuff, you can just kind of message me your BKGA number, and I'll get whatever project you need from that. All right, so try to think about what it's going to be that you want to remember from this year. All right, and I think that I hope that there's some good memories and some things you had fun doing, or something that you looked forward to every day, whether it was going to break, going to see your friends, going to, sitting at a computer and finding silly memes, which I'm okay with those as well if those you want to be your pictures, as long as they're school appropriate. All right? So I don't mind as long as you have one picture of you, then the other things can be they don't have to necessarily be created by you. But try not to just do the minimum 3 pictures on the page. Try to find a nice big kind of collage style. And that, again, that's why I gave you this search engine, right? Or this search result. I mean, this guy only has 3, but he's got some nice fonts and graphic art elements in there. You can see this one, there are a lot of pictures. I mean, they're mostly of her, but I would think you'd want to kind of put pictures of your artwork or you and your friends, like this type of one here, So that's where we're going with this. I am looking at doing some kind of, or trying to think about our future projects. There's some extensions of these things that with those pages in Canva that we can add some interactive components to, that I am trying to look in that. I'm trying to think though of a way that we can do kind of like a group project, possibly involving video. You guys have probably seen a lot of these videos now where it looks like they're passing a ball from one person to another, right? Kind of virtually. So, that's getting played out. I'd like to try to think of something we can do along that line to connect ourselves and make a composite video in that way. Maybe we can do some kind of animated story where everybody, if we decide on a script, and everybody could kind of animate a part of it, and draw it in their art style, and then combine it all together. Because I think, as much as we're doing these projects, I think they're great, and you guys, for the most part, are making designs. We're definitely losing our connections with each other, right? We have these Google Meets, and, I mean, you guys are here, pretty much all of you, every week. So, I mean, I feel connected to you all, but I'd like to try to get, a little bit more reconnection with everybody. So, we can kind of maybe wrap things up on a good note. So that's what I got for today. That talks, about some general things as well as specifically for this project. As far as how to work with Canva. I will have the project all detailed, and that'll be put in there tomorrow so that you can look at the final requirements and the point values and all that type of stuff. So there won't be any surprises there with that. And that'll pretty much get us through the rest of this week. I mean, I know tomorrow's Wednesday, but I'm thinking there'll be some people are still kind of catching up. So I think that I'd like to have this done by Thursday, end the class, so that we can then start, posting stuff and doing some critiquing Friday and Monday on that. All right. So if you hadn't gotten your planning kind of squared away, or you have to kind of rethink your planning, spend a little more time today into tomorrow if you need to. Really look at some more examples that I found from the search result. If I can find my tab open here again, I keep trying to go back to that. Oh, cool. Who just put in the selfie page? Somebody figured out. Oh, that might be Ben. It'd be nice if there was an audio component to this. Yeah, try it, like I said, and some of you are mentioning that the last project was a little easy. All right, challenge yourself. Try to make a really cool design that has all kinds of different graphics and whatnot in there. I experiment just getting a stroke around this was challenging. I searched around to look for something, but then I realized, what can I do to get a stroke around? If this is just an object, anybody take a guess how I got the yellow to kind of be a drop shadow or a stroke around there?
You copy pasted it and moved it?
Copy, paste, yeah, and just change the color of it, right? So if you can't find a tool that does exactly what you want, try to be creative in coming up with using what's available. But as you can see, or there is app integration, so actually that might be interesting. If you click on Instagram, you might be able to pull your pictures in directly from there, or Dropbox, or any of these other cloud storage places you have. There are some backgrounds that are in there. But I think this is just enough that it gives you choices, but it's not too complicated that it's going to overwhelm you and you're not going to know what to do with things. Alright, so I think that's all I got. Anybody want to ask anything, talk about anything?
You're still letting us do alternate.
I am letting you do alternate projects for to replace any project grade. However, though, I did say I do want everybody is going to be required to do a yearbook page.
Okay.
All right, I know that is kind of a curveball, but this just wouldn't be meaningful. And there's one thing, we do this for the teachers, all right, if nothing else. Let us, so that we can remember you. And I mean, we have a pretty good memory on you guys, but sometimes we forget. We need to go back and look. If you don't make a page, it makes it really difficult. And you guys mean stuff to us, believe it or not. And you're all lives and not just a number on a piece of paper. So if nothing else, do it for us so that we got something to remember and can kind of compare things to. Sometimes you guys actually have stories and we talk about, and it actually makes things a little more relative, and we kind of have understanding of things a little bit better. So you can do alternate projects for, I'm going to say, anything but this. Matt wants to know if he can use a funny picture. Yeah, it just can't be so overly edited that it's like posterized and we can't really tell that it's you. Alright, I would like it to be pretty photorealistic. I mean, you can do some retouching if you have like blemishes and you want to change the exposure and things like that, but you should be easily recognizable. Alright, good questions. Anybody else? Alright, well, I got to go get a new inner tube for my bike tire. I was taking my ride last week, got 3 blocks away from my house, and all of a sudden it just blew out. So I like to exercise to stress relieve and get out of the house and get some fresh air. It's supposed to be almost 70 on Friday, right? You guys see that in the weather? So kind of try to get outside, get some air, even if it's windy and a little cold out there, but that's what I'm doing. We'll be meeting again Thursday, kind of talk about any issues with these, and then hopefully making some final plans for our game night on Thursday night.